Flosstube, it's Jen, also known as Quirks and Stitches. We're going to be trying something a little bit new here today. I got a new phone, so I'm thinking the camera quality is going to be good enough for me to use that instead of all the issues I've been having with my computer, which hopefully will mean that it is easier for me to film for you guys and not quite such a hassle as having to go and borrow my mom's computer and all of that fun stuff. So I am hoping, fingers crossed, that this is working. I'm in a different setup. I decided I would sit in my living room. This is my stitchy spot. So I generally have, I've got my chair, my light is back here right now. Usually it's right here, but I am surrounded by stitching because I have all these like great intentions of filming. And so I keep everything in like these little antique magazine holder things ready to show you guys, and then I just haven't filmed because of all my technology issues and things like that. So it just has taken me a little bit. So but I'm gonna try, and Brandon has like this fancy little start and stop button thing that we found, and I've locked the cats away because I do not trust them around any of my stitching. Porter, was it Porter? No, I think it was Ale the other night, got on the back of the couch and went to scratch on Nine is the Trick or Treat by Prairie Moon, and I was like, oh no, that's not happening. There were words. I used a water bottle and then was like, ooh, stitching, water. I don't know that one was okay. That was an old piece done on regular linen and DMC, but it was a little scary. So we're still learning what the cats can or cannot do. So I brought some big finishes home. Well, I have one really, really big finish that I'll be showing you, and it's been hidden because we brought it home, right? And I'll show it to you. You'll see what it is. But it literally is sitting. It's the length of my this is the frame. That's the sneak peek. Stick around to see what it's gonna be. We brought it home. My mom came over to stop to see it because we actually had it framed at Craft Gallery because it's just such a big one. And Brandon picked it up on his way home from work. So she had come over to see it. So we opened and we had it just like in my craft room because the door is always shut there and the cats can't get in it. So we open the door, and of course, with cats, if you're a cat person, as soon as they know they're not supposed to be in a room, as soon as you give them like any sort of like inch into that room, they're immediately there. They make that beeline, they hear that door, and they're in. So my mom and I go in the room, they charge in, and Porter went right up to it. I've never seen my mom move so fast. She grabbed the picture and had it up because it's just terrifying with these kittens, and I've always declawed. It's a terrible thing, and I have not with these guys. I don't want to do it anymore. We always had like one of them that had been, and then it's not fair for the other one. So these ones are not declawed. I'm telling you, you should see Brandon's dress shoes. Porter decided last night that that was her scratching post. And who would have thought that cats and shoes are... Anyway, they're locked up. They are in the room that's like right behind me over there. So I am sure that you are going to hear them banging on doors at some point. Brandon just went to lay down, so he took Watson with him. So I'm hoping that she stays good on the bed. I am settled in. It's kind of dreary. It's been hailing a little bit today. It's just like a nice cozy Sunday though. So I'm trying to take advantage of it, and I like being home. I'm a homebody. But I figured it was time for an update. We have a marathon coming up next weekend. How we're already at the last marathon of 2020, I'm not really sure. I have some ideas for what I'm going to be doing, and which leads me well into another question I've been asked quite frequently. Is there going to be a 2021 24 hours of cross stitch planner? Yes, there will be. Last year with the 2020 planner, I got it out about the middle of December. I'm hoping for about mid-November. The ideas are there, everything's there, a lot of the planning, all of the prep. My mom and I have had a lot of collaboration meetings about it. It's just getting the formatting kicks down now and getting it in, which I do. I'm going to work on, and I am working on, and you know, all of those things. So 2021 planner is coming. There's going to be some changes. A lot of the things that you were used to in the 2020 planner are still going to be there. We're still going to have places to organize your WIPs. We're still going to have places to do the acrostic, the holidays, the calendars, things like that. I have some ideas, some things, some new organizational pages that will be added. Just some things that will be, you know, so be looking out for that. So it's coming. And we've been toying with like our theme, and this is how it kind of ties into the marathon, because I have kind of an overarching theme for our, at least for the acrostics this year. And it's going to be kind of a this or that theme. And I'll explain, you know, once the planner's done, I'll kick that out a little bit more. But so my mom and I were thinking, okay, well, let's tease it a little bit more. Let's just get you guys thinking about what it could be. Not that I'm all that creative or mysterious or anything like that. So I'm pretty sure you'll be able to figure out some of my ideas before they actually happen. But I wanted to tie it into my stitching for the marathon. So I have this weird idea, and I don't even know if anybody would have any interest in doing it. But my mom and I decided that for our entertainment, and you know, like we like to theme things out. Anybody that's new that's watching and doesn't know what 24 Hours Across Stitch is, there's a big Facebook group. I'll link it below. There's a website that needs to be updated. Sorry for those of you that rely on the website. Brandon and I are really adjusting to his new work schedule, and he was the one that did that, and he's just not home nearly as much anymore, and he's sleeping during the day and working at night, and it's been a shift. So I'm sorry that those things aren't quite updated like they had been. But if you're new to 24 Hours of Cross Stitch, we basically just marathon stitch. We stitch for 24 hours straight. Sometimes we just see how many hours we can get in on a weekend. There's, I don't know, was it going to be like our 8th, 10th marathon? I don't know. I'll figure it out before the actual marathon. But we've been doing this since 2019 now. So it's, you know, it's a weird little thing that took off that we love to do with you guys. So marathon weekend is coming up the 6th through the 8th. Like I said, you can stitch straight, you can just stitch what you want. So my mom and I were thinking about what our entertainment plan was going to be. And we're going with this or that, and we're doing all that stuff. And so we were like, what about like movie remakes? Like where we do, and then we decide like which one we like better, and this one or that one. So I think that's what we're going to do. And I haven't decided if I'm going to tie my projects into the pieces. So like, for example, like we were thinking Psycho, because you've got the original and then you've got the remake with Vince Vaughn and Anne Heche and all of that. Anyway, we'll talk about that later. But so like, I was thinking, oh, I could pick 2 projects that like somehow relate to Psycho. Not that I have like that, but I was thinking like Emily's house with the big scary house and the mansion in the background, and maybe Tide Welcome, because it's also a big house and things like that. And then I was thinking I could put my ideas for that movie out there, and you guys could tell me what you want to see progress on. Is that something that would be interesting? Does anybody care that much? I don't know, because I could put polls up on Insta stories and give you guys like, and then plan my stitching that way. And then it's you guys having a little bit more control over what I'm doing. Or I could just decide and flip a coin, or just pick which one's calling me more that moment. I don't know. It was just a thought. So I'm going to be doing something related to this or that with my stitching. We're going to pick at least 12 different remake movies, which would be 24 movies to be watching, which I think will work. And then I plan to we'll do at least 6, whatever, you know how we do. We try to do all this stuff and then we fail miserably. But I have a really busy work week this week. So I'm thinking I may be able to be done all of my hours before Friday, and at least only have to do like 3 if I have to go in at all. So I'm thinking that I can do like a full Friday through Sunday with you guys. I do know there's some Zoom groups that are happening. I've had some people reach out and ask if, I had a lot of email go to my junk email. So if I did not respond, my Gmail has really been sorting. So I apologize. So if you've been trying to get a hold of me, really like just keep trying, because it just doesn't always work. I use Gmail as my secondary email. My main email is actually a Mac account. And so, I don't have Gmail figured out very well. I'm techie, but I'm not all that techie. You know, I always think I've got so much stitching to show, and then I get on and I just like to talk to you guys. I had all these like visions of my house when we bought our house, and I figured we would be out. So I don't know if I can shift this. I don't think I'm going to. But right out here is where my Flosstube studio was going to be, with the brick wall and where my whip wall is on the wall. And I really had all these like grand ideas of it being out there, but this is kind of the setting that I feel like is most connected to my stitching. This is where I stitch. I've got a stitchy spot downstairs now too, but I'm predominantly here. This is it. I sit here, I've got my little table, got my very full Ort jar, very, very full. I keep them in there until January, and then I throw them away. And I don't know why it's not. There was one year I kept them all, and then I was going to weigh them, and I was going to somehow use that data. Guys, my head is nuts. I'm like, that means nothing. There's no... How me weighing the amount of orts that I have left in a year tells me absolutely nothing. So marathon's coming up. Also, the weekend of marathon, Brandon Lee, my husband, is going to be doing Extra Life. If you don't know the history of Extra Life is what sparked my marathons, our marathons, this whole 24 hours of cross stitch thing, because he plays video games or streams something for 24 hours and fundraises for Children's Miracle Network through Extra Life. So that's what sparked it. He's done it for like 5 years. This will be his 5th, I think. He can correct me if I'm wrong. He has a really great video on his channel that I will link below that explains his little vision for this year, and it gives you some background on Extra Life. And guys, my husband's pretty funny. I think he's pretty funny and he's pretty cute. So I think you should watch it, and you need to watch it till the end because he's very funny. And so I think that it's a great link into what we're doing next weekend too, because it's the thing that sparked why 24 hours of cross stitch started. So he's going to be doing that. So he'll be here streaming. He said he's going to try to do some cross stitch involved in that too. He is fundraising for his, so if you're looking for somewhere that you can donate some money for a great cause, I can't recommend Extra Life's Children Miracle Network. Their collaboration, whatever that word is, enough. Like it is a fantastic organization. He's got his link to a local hospital with us, so I think it's in Toledo. So again, great. I will link it below, but he'll be doing that here. Plan is, I think I'm going to go to my mom's. My mom and I are going to go there. Watson's going to come with us, and my dad is going to be on Watson duty. So we're going to give him the steps to the bed, and Watson's going to cuddle with him, and we're going to stitch and watch lots of movies. And if you can think of good remakes, please tell me. Even terrible remakes. But we're going to, I think that's our plan. So I hope you're planning for your 24 hours. So, okay, other things that are going on. I had this grand scheme idea last time I filmed that I was going to get my goal by February 22nd, 2022. Still have some time. That's my 40th birthday. My goal is to get my massive pile of whips down to under 40. I'm using the hashtag under 40 whips by 40 to track my progress. And so that was what I kind of kicked off the last time I filmed. I did a whip parade. I showed you everything I had. Normally when I film these, I like to go in order of how I've been stitching, but it's been so long. Here, this is going to be another one of those lists where I do A and then I do 1 and then I don't remember how many I've had in order. It's going to be really, it's been too long. Like, it was too hard for me to go back, and now I'm not counting stitches anymore. So like I used to have that whole like tracker that I could be like, well, on this day I did this and on this day I did that. And for the most part, I have my pictures, which I post pretty reliably to my Instagram account with my mug of the day. That is my little nod to my Needleminder connection to my stitching. Since I don't typically use Needleminders, I do keep them on my little chart here though. So I do collect them if I can. But See, I did A and I don't even remember what it was. It's been too long and I've had a lot of finishes. I haven't had that many new starts. And I have some things at my mom's house to be framed. And I think I only have one piece there. And I've had a lot that has been framed since we last met that I haven't necessarily talked to you about or been stitching on. I've talked to you about all of these things. I haven't necessarily been stitching on it, but it is a fully framed project now because my mom went on an amazing framing spree again and let me raid her frame stash, and I have a bunch. We got my house all set for Halloween. So yeah, like you can see, I've got stuff on the walls, and at some point I want to do a tour. I keep my Halloween stuff up through Thanksgiving. It's not going to change till Christmas, till after Thanksgiving. And as long as the world cooperates, I'm hoping that at least my parents are going to be able to come over and I'm going to host Thanksgiving dinner here we're a very small clan. So I'm hoping it'll just be us, but we'll see. So that'll stay up till then. So I'm still hoping to get a tour. It's just, I live with the most destructive cats in the world, like I said, and I have to tidy it up a little bit. And I was like, if I say that I'm going to do it all today, I'm going to do none of this today. And I want to at least get something filmed and up for you guys. So I have 3 piles around me. Here are projects that are finished but not framed. Here are projects that are notable progress on and a new start. And here is all of my fully finished framed objects that I have yet to show you. Unless you look on Instagram, in which I think you've seen them all. So I think I'm going to start with things that have notable progress done on them. For the most part, when I've been filming, so I've been tracking my under 40 by 40 thing since August 22nd because that marked a 1.5 years worth of time until my 40th birthday. So I think since then I have had 16 finishes, but you have seen a couple of those. So I think I'm only going to show you 14 now. And one of them I don't have here. The rest I have here. And a lot of them, the reason I was able to get so many was I wasn't switching projects. I would pull one out and I would work on it pretty much until it was done. So I'm not going to have that many that I've worked on that are going to show notable progress because I just kept working on things till they were finished. So let's go ahead. Let's just get started. You need to see some stitching. I've rambled for long enough. So this is one that I've gotten a lot of work done on. This is Merry Xmas by Prairie Moon. I'm doing it on some sort of 32 count. It is almost finished, and it was my plan to finish it before October was up, to work on it during dark October because it's Christmas, but it's skeletons, so I feel like it's acceptable. But I didn't because it's like back stitching and there's so many 3/4 stitches in this piece that I just have to be in the right mood to do it. So it'll get finished before 2020 is out because I really do want it up for Christmas. And I am doing it on 32 count. You can see it's a very light fabric, so you can see through it pretty well. I'm using the called for colors, and it's the called for silks, and I'm just using 1 strand on the 32 count, and I'm very happy with the coverage. So that is where I am on this one. I also got a big chunk done on Ghoultide Welcome. I needed some just solid color stitching to happen. My mom was like, Jen, the way you roll your stuff, it's very neat, but the one side just like, it's very hard to get that out. I said, I know, but it's how I get my tension right. So you can see I've got the house pretty much all done with the big block of color. Just have to do the roof. There's so much fill-in in this piece, but I love it. I'm stitching this on 36 count. I believe it's either Sand Dune or Vintage Sand Dune by Lakeside Linens. And I'm using the DMC. So when I was thinking of projects that I was going to be working on lately, I've been trying to pull ones out that I think are feasible for me to get finished before my 40th. But if I don't work on big ones like that, I'm not going to move any forward on it. So I also want to tie in some ones that are maybe going to be not quite so feasible to be finished by then. Makes sense. Emily's House by Lindy Stitches. I am using a combo of the DMC and the Gast. I love this piece. It was just, I needed some comfort blocks of color stitching. I've been doing a lot of monochromatic with black, so I wanted to do the yellow. I grew up in South Jersey in a big 18-room house that had been converted to a church, and it had been a church, and then it was converted into a house. And my parents got it figuring they would have more children, and then that just didn't happen. And so I was stitching on this, and I was like, this style house is nothing like what it was, but like the yellow and the gold, and like I was like, oh, I feel like I'm in my childhood home right now. It's weird how like it does that, and you can like kind of transport back. The other piece that I have spent a lot of time on is Halloween at Hawk Run. And I am doing this as a sal with my friend Laura. And I am trying to get a block done every month. And I actually, this past month, I worked on this block and got 2 done because it's that double block. I don't think I showed it to you since I got the mummy block done or the things. There is some back stitching still to do in these blocks, but because of how I roll my fabric, I'm waiting till the end for any like long stitches or anything. I'm using, it's 40 count, purely primitive something. I think it's a silk weaver. My tag just said Zweigart. I love the fabric, and I did a stash color conversion. So, and I started, so it's November 1st today. So I started, this block with the tree up here. And I don't know, my color conversion kind of works. I just compared like I pulled all the DMC, and then I pulled mostly like overdyes, except for some DMC that I kept in. And for the most part, it's working. I just don't know. This block is giving me, it's all grays, and I'm not really sure. I think it'll work. I also had one new start, and I had a new start because it's my 10-year wedding anniversary on October 26th. And so I wanted to commemorate that. Brandon was super adorable this year, and he got me 10 different gifts that were either 10 themed, us themed, or tin themed. And so he had actually put in an order to 123 Stitch and got me a piece of tin roof fabric and tin roof floss from Weeks Dye Works. So it was super cute. So I was like, I want to do our 10-year wedding, I want to commemorate our anniversary, and I'll use the fabric that he got me. So I actually started Ivy Wed by Prairie Moon. And I've had it for forever. I'm doing a color conversion, and because it calls for pretty much all of it to be in like a navy blue, and we're not really navy blue people. So I am doing wherever the navy blue, it's going to be, I think it's like onyx, or it's some sort of black, and then the red is mulberry, and then I'm going to be using a green. I think it's forest glade, because our wedding colors were green. So I'm going to be changing colors throughout this a bit, going from there. So I'm happy with it started though. So that was my new start. I had one other new start since I last filmed, but I was able to get that one fully finished, so it hasn't like totally messed with my stitch count. So those are the projects that I have like notable progress on. But like I said, I've been stitching a ton. I don't think I've filmed since the end of August. So these, now that we're going to go through, are all the ones that I've been able to finish. So let's do that. Gotta finish on this one. This is Halloween Medley by Heart and Hand. I did this on 32 count. I think it's Legacy by Picture This Plus. I only have the buttons to add onto it. I've stitched fall and winter of these, but I stitched them very close together. I think you've heard the story. We have no idea how to finish them. So, but yeah, I used called for colors with this. I really like how it turned out. I think it's very cute. I do like those. This was my anniversary start last year for Brandon and I did get it finished, and I have a frame for it too, so it will be framed soon. And this is Stars Bright by Lindy Stitches. Did this, I believe it's Tarnish. It's either Tarnish or Fathom by Picture This Plus. It's I don't remember which. I'm sorry, but it's 36 count. The inside is pretty much, the birds were done with Lindy's colors. The granny squares I did a conversion to stash. So, but I'm very happy with how it turned out. And then I changed, it's a Hemingway quote, and I changed, it said books as his quote, but I changed it to games because Brandon and I are more gamey people than book people. Although, guys, I'm going to meet my Goodreads goal this year. I stopped reading in like April when we got home, and I do a lot of audiobooks, and I didn't like doing audiobooks at my house. So my Goodreads goal was like 50 books, and like I think I had like 12 or something, because I'd been doing really well, but then I wasn't in my car anymore, so I stopped, and I'm gonna meet it. So I am doing all of the books. I have decided that I am okay doing audiobooks in my house, so I generally just put an audiobook on and I stitch, and I love like Overdrive and the like library apps for it, so I just put everything on my library holds list and listen. So I think I'm on like 42 of the year now, so that works. This was my other start. I started this, it was Kyle's fault. I don't remember what or why. But it was, need has nothing to do with it, which is so true. I believe this is a piece of 46 count. I don't know what color fabric. I did a conversion. And I started it because I was tipsy, I think. It was something with like a tipsy start or something. So I tried with all my colors to have them be like things that would accompany wine. So like the brown in here is like dark chocolate, and like one of the colors of the red is cherry wine, and another one I think is Merlot, and I don't know. I was like, oh, that's clever. I'm the only one that will know that I did it. Except now I told you, so it was worth it. Did get a finish on this Prairie Schooler Santa. I think this is 1985, and it feels like a 36 count something. I did not get a Santa finished in October. I'm trying to do one a month, but I really, except for my new start with the Ivy Wed, I stitched all Halloween for October, so I didn't have a Santa that I could tie in. I figured I could do the Santa that I'm changing to like the Flyers colors for Gritty, but I didn't. Cats are attacking the door. This was a big finish for me. It was not one that I figured I would have. This is Hibernation Day by Heartstring. This was called for Colors. I believe it's on 40 count Meadow Rue by Lakeside. I love this piece. And I'm really trying when I finish them to sign them, like initial them. So I do. I have, my initials are down there with Brandon's as well. I loved this piece. Called for Colors. My mom won't frame things if I don't have them initialed anymore. And I need her to frame things, so. This was a little finish, Peppermint Latte. Casey, just ignore that, that's a mess. Casey something, I can't say her last name. It was in a magazine, stitching, no, Christmas ornaments. Tiny little that will get finished to be somehow put with my coffee bar. And now we're into like dark October stuff. So this was stuff that I started and just tried to keep finishing. This one, The Witch's Kitchen by The Primitive Hare. This is on 35 count Havana. It had a couple colors in it, but I decided to do it monochromatically. And it's a freebie. You can get the pattern on her website. Got that one done. I started this piece with Danielle last year on Halloween. Amos Fig. Got him finished. I did do a conversion for colors for him. This is 40 count. I think it's exemplar. And I have a piece cut for Tilly as well. So it'll be the same matching, and I'll do the same like thread conversion that I did for this. I'm really happy with how they turned out. And this was one that I had put off working on because counting stitches, especially down in these like crosses down here, was a pain, because I was changing and I didn't know how to track it. So it's one of those that I do feel like I'm stitching a lot faster now that I'm not counting stitches anymore. I'm trying to figure out like what that means for like the acrostic and stuff. Like I want to give you guys the same amount of flexibility because I don't track my time and I don't track my stitches now. But I think it just means that you have to do what works for you. You know, if you're a counting stitches person, go by counting stitches. If you're a person like me now, I'm trying to pick goals. So like when I'm looking at what I want to finish for the month, you know, is it feasible for a finish, or maybe my goal is to get the house done or something like that. So, you know, with our group and the acrostic challenges, you're not challenging anybody but yourself. So you pick how it works for you. I think also I may meet my alphabet challenge goals this year, not with all of the projects that I had originally intended to, because I believe I have unicorn badger, peacock, unicorn, and badger on there, and that one's not getting finished this year. But I think I may be able to have finished enough that I can wiggle it around and see. This is another one that got finished. This is Skeleton Keys by Not Forgotten Farm. So I put my initials. See, I did it, Mom. Put them in up there. This one is with DMC. It's on 36 count Maritime White by Lakeside. I'd started that for Madness years ago. I think it was my first Madness. I don't know why it hadn't gotten finished. Like that was it. I like just kept pulling these things out that I was like, okay, this needs to get done. I finished this little owl. This is from Boo to You or Boo Moon, one of the two. I forget which. Prairie Schooler. I'm doing these on 35 count Mink by R&R, and I've got pieces cut for all of them. I've stitched the cat too because it was the Mayhem cat, and then I will finish the rest of them at some point, but I haven't started them yet either, so I can't start. I don't want to start them now because I'm trying to finish things. I have to keep telling myself I'm trying to finish things and not start things. I did get a finish on this, which is Crow's Lullaby by The Primitive Hare. I read like 3 books the year I started this that all had this poem quoted in it. One by Ruth Ware. I forget what the other ones were, but so I thought it was Magpie Murders was another one, I think. I don't remember who that one was by. 32 count Fog by Picture This Plus, just with DMC. I also, because I got so much stuff hanging now out in the room that's over here, I have a lot of bird stuff. And I think like my Poe stuff is going to stay up all year. So I'm kind of making that, instead of just having it be Halloween, I'm kind of making that like my bird room. And so I actually feel like this piece will be able to be swapped with where I am hanging Halloween Eve right now. I think it would be like a similar, and while it's like spooky-ish, it's not Halloween, so it can be up, and it's got the birds and the crows. And then Hibernation Day, I think, can go where I have Autumn at Hawk Run Hollow right behind me, or you, it's in front of me, but behind you, over on that side of the wall. So that's another reason why I tried to finish some of the ones I did, because now that I have everything hanging up in my house, it may just have to be Halloween all year this year until I get some more like Christmas stitching done and things that I can change, which there have been other years where it's been Halloween in my house because I just forget to take things down. I did get a finish on this the other day. This is Witch, which I do know was my W for the alphabet challenge, by Lottie Da. I stitched this with Onyx by Weeks Dye Works, and this is on 40 count Christmas in Williamsburg by Under the Sea. It's perfect fabric for it. Perfect. I love it. So those are my finishes. So like I said, since I last filmed, that's 14 finishes. Well, that was 12, because one Quaker Bees is at my mom's house, because I don't know why it's at my mom's house. Maybe it's not. It might be in my craft room, but I'm not going to go get it now. So if I find it, I will find it, but I will show it to you next time. And then I have one here that's been framed. So we're doing okay on time. So now I'm going to show you things that have been framed by my amazing mother that are hanging in my house, except for right now when I had to take them down. This is Cross Stitch Nation. Look at that frame. Is that not perfect? This was just a vintage frame we found. I love it. I have it hanging in my craft room. This one is also hanging in my craft room. This is Good Intentions by Kathy Barrick. How perfect is that frame? My mom was not too happy that I took it. She loves me though. I do have my clock wall up in this house, and so I'm so excited that this year I have cross stitch at this house incorporated into it. So this is Time Enough. Sorry, there's a bit of a glare or shadow. Time Enough by Kathy Barrick. This one hangs out there. I did this during a marathon. This frame is like, oh man, this one was like perfect. This is When Skeletons Dance by The Drawn Thread. Like, is that not perfect? So good. Vintage old frames. I love it when they just fit. And it's all luck because I do no measuring beforehand. None. And this one's an example of sometimes I will give a little bit of my design. Like, it's not even, you know, this is, I've got maybe a row that's covered here. But for the frame, I'll sacrifice it because how perfect is that for this frame, for this piece? Vintage old frame. Love it. Nevermore by Lila's Studio. Another one, an oldie. Alphabet Sampler by Birds of a Feather. I love the frame. Love, love, love it. Thank you, Mom, for sharing the wealth. And Sally Spencer. Just very simple. It's a very narrow frame, so it was a little bit challenging for my mom, but she did it. And then, guys, okay, we've got my biggie. Make sure my coffee is away so I don't spill anything on it. I don't even know that I'm going to be able to let you see all of it. His eye is on the sparrow, is done. It is framed. It is amazing. Paula did an outstanding job. They did at Craft Gallery. I'm trying to get it so you can see the details of the frame. I love this piece. I am so glad that I powered through and got it done. I don't even know where, I can't even see where I'm at. But this was, oh my goodness, I stitched it with my mom. She did it, we did it as a sal. 36 count buttercream by Lakeside Linens with the called for colors except for the house. I changed my house to Country Redwood, so it's the same color as the border colors, the border flowers. And then where my initials are, I kind of changed those colors as I saw fit. I really liked how my mom did her, the years where it did, on either side of the initials instead of being, since it was 2020. So that was my biggie that I'm not sure where I'm hanging yet because I'm terrified that my cats are going to be terrible with it. Been stitching a lot. Also, Jamie sent me some things that I forgot to grab. So they are away, but she sent me all these amazing thread keeps that I love. Thank you so much, Jamie, Cricket Bug. That was so nice. It's been a good stitching time. Like, I really have gotten a lot done. I kind of lost my bug a little bit at the end of October, but I think it's back now. I'm gonna, hunker down and just do some more Halloween at Hawk Run today. And just enjoy a nice dreary day here. We're definitely feeling very comfortable in our home and very, very thankful for where we're settled now. We've kind of got into a rhythm, which has been super nice. Like I said, Brandon and I just celebrated our 10-year wedding anniversary. He's been incredible. And oh goodness, the cats are knocking things off and over, and they are so bad. They are so cute, guys. So we just got new iPhones, and that's why I'm so excited to film, but the cameras on them are insane. So I've already been trying to get pictures of like Ale and stuff, mean, her positions that she's, if you don't follow me on Instagram, you really should, because just for the cat pictures alone, like, these cats are nuts. I have never seen cats like them. Like, and I've had cats most of my life, and they are nuts. They're crazy. They're been known for my work things now because they just get on Zoom all the time. But they crack me up. So there's an update from me. Like I said, I really want this to be more regular. Let me know what you think about my plans for 24 hours marathon. And if you guys want to help me decide, and if you're just like to stitch and then show us what you want to stitch. You know, sometimes I don't know. I don't know. We are gearing up for that. I don't really know what my November stitching plans are. Like, I have talked about that with you, but I think I just want to shoot for some more finishes. I want to get at least 2 Prairie Schooler Santas done, the block on Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow, and then I'm not sure. I know Abby is doing Peacock Unicorn and a Badger for her birthday sale, so I'll definitely be pulling that out at some point during the month. I think Emily's doing like a nonsensical where she's trying to go for finishes, which I'm like, hi, that goes in line with what I'm doing. I am currently sitting now that I have finished 16 projects since I started tracking for my under 40. I've started 2, so that took me up, but one of those was a finish. So I guess that means that I've netted 15 finishes since, I don't really know how I can even use the word netted and talk math terms because I'm not mathematical at all. My company got a really large grant not the other day, but they got a really large grant for a program that they're going to be working on. And he was like, did you know they got this? And I was like, yeah, they got like this much money. And I said it was like 54 million. And he was like, yeah, it's 5.4 million a year. I was like, oh, same difference. And he was like, it's $27 million difference. I was like, yeah, math. So it's not netting, not happening. So anyway, I finished 16 things, started 2 new things. I am currently sitting at 82 whips. But I finished some big ones that I didn't think would be finishes. Like, I didn't think His Eyes on the Sparrow would really be done before then. So I still think I'm good for my under 40. By 40, it is only November of 2020, so I have until February of 2022. February 22nd, not gonna, but I'm not saying no new starts. I will be starting things to commemorate events and do that. I will have a new birthday start for my birthday this year. I don't know what it's gonna be yet, but it will be something, which means I really want to try and finish my birthday start from last year. So I just have some goals. And then, wheels are turning for what I'm going to do when I actually turn 40, because this is all leading up to 40. But I'm thinking then I'm going to start 82 things. I'm making my list now. 82 things from my birthday 2022 to my birthday 2023. Maybe. I need a way to decide which of those are going to be the 82 things. Am I nuts? Tell me. Thoughts. Seriously, I would like to know. I think that's it. I will be back next weekend for sure because we will be filming for the marathon. I hope that you are gearing up. If there are any questions about 24 hours, reach out to me. You can find me on Instagram, my email. I will check through the junk because I think things have gotten sent there. Like I said, there are some Zoom groups. We do not run an official one. It's just a little bit too much. We started this in order to enjoy stitching ourselves. So I love that people are joining in, but I am still struggling a bit to be like, I'm not a retreat runner. And so, as much as I want to do all these things, I still want to be able to stitch, and I crave these marathon weekends just as much as you guys do. So, I find that I'm a little selfish, and I'm sorry, but I just want to be able to stitch some. So there are ways that I think we're looking to make it more interactive and things, but this one, we're just gonna really keep it kind of at our speed like we've been doing. So reach out to people that you want to stitch with. The one thing that's been great about this year has been how comfortable everyone has been being with people that are not in their homes. So you can be in the comfort of your home interacting with people all over the world. And the ability to do that has gotten so much easier. So I do know, I think Laura and Joe are running a retreat that weekend that they'll be on Zoom. And like I said, there's always groups that are doing that. So if that's something that you crave, please seek out people that are doing it. And eventually maybe we will be able to get something up and running. It just hasn't happened yet. We are also looking into sweatshirts. This one, we thought we had figured out where we were going to go, and it's not good enough quality for me to feel comfortable selling. So I'm looking into that side of stuff because we really would like to get some merch out to you guys too, for those that are interested. Also, you know, Allison still has the 24-hour Needleminder, so feel free to check out her shop and pick that and something else up because her Needleminders are outstanding. I can even show it. This is why it's nice to be in my stitchy spot. 24 hours of cross stitch Needleminder. Available on Allison Rosen's Etsy shop. 2021 planner is being worked on. Goal mid-November. I will keep you going. Cats are ready to be out of the room, which means I need to lock the stitching up somewhere safe. So I'm gonna go keep making those X's, find your calm, and enjoy what you're doing. And I look forward to stitching more with you as time goes on. Bye, guys.